All right. So just going to, I guess, hang out here and see if anybody jumps on. I had a issue earlier. Is the streaming just not working today? No, I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Can you hear me now? Is anybody getting this? Is the mic working yet? Looks like it's working on this. Shaw, what's up, my man? Can you hear me? All right, the sound is working now. So all right.
It's so hard
Let's
for
see if
me
we
to
can
sit
see
back
see if
here
y'all can hear
in
that
this
now too.
studio looking
All
at a
right,
guy
good.
out
Okay,
here
cool.
hollering my name
Let's
when
see.
last year I spent
So
more
we'll start
money
off with
on
the numbers
spilt
here.
liquor
Kyle Larson
in
leads
bars
the way.
from
Oh,
one
nope.
side of
Let's go
this
to average
world to the
finish. Let's start
other
with average finish
than
because
you
average finish
made.
is different. This
You're
is
talking
the
to
average
the
finish at Texas in
Rolex
recent races. William
wearing,
Byron leading the way with an
diamond
average
ring
finish of
wearing.
3.3. Brad Keselowski with an average finish of 6.3. Denny Hamlin, 8.7. Kevin Harvick, who, of course, not in this one, but Josh Berry driving the car, 10.0. Daniel Suarez, 10.0. Chase Briscoe, also 10.0. Tyler Reddick, 11.7. Ryan Blaney, 12.7. Matt DiBenedetto, 13.0. Kyle Larson, 13.7. Christopher Bell, 13.7. Michael McDowell, 14.3. And Ross Chastain, 14.3. Those are your best average finishes since 2021 and that's the three race span. So let's look at previous winners. Kyle Larson at 1, Tyler Reddick at 1, and William Byron at 1. Those are going to be your favorites according to DraftKings and stuff like that. Christopher Bell, let's go to top fives. Christopher Bell with two top fives in that time frame. The only other driver with two top fives is going to be William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Justin Haley, Bubba Wallace are also, and Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson are your others with top five. All right. So the poll question is up. And let's look at where they qualified, of course. Or am I looking at this is qualifying. Larson, of course, got the pole. Ty Gibbs in second place there. Good run for him. This could be the day that Ty Gibbs breaks through and gets that first win. Christopher Bell in third place. Tyler Reddick, another one of the favorites there. He's in fourth place. Chase Briscoe with a fifth there. William Byron is going to roll off sixth. Ryan Blaney is seventh. Austin Cindric is eighth. Martin Truex Jr. ninth, Bubba Wallace is 10th, and Denny Hamlin rolls off 11th, 12th, Ross Chastain, 13th, Michael McDowell, 14th, Alex Bowman, and 15th there for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon has a win here previously as well, so he might be a good wild card pick if you need that for your fantasy team or something like that. And in practice, Ty Gibbs was the fastest in practice. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, and Tyler Reddick. So there you go, the old familiar faces there. It's going to look like to me, just from all the information we've gathered here, it looks like Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson, but don't sleep on Ty Gibbs. Those would be the three that I would be looking at for the win here. And Texas native Chris Buescher, you can't sleep on him. And this is a home track also for Daniel Suarez, one of his many home tracks. He's much like Martin Truex Jr., where he has several home tracks as well. All right, let's see. Jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Going to be hard for me not to go with Kyle Larson here. Obvious bias, but Ty Gibbs, I'm kind of liking Ty Gibbs or Tyler Reddick there if you're in the Toyota camp. What's up? Gonna jump. A bunch of sound is working. Will you please mute the dork? What do you think of the talking about Ric Flair? I had the Ric Flair intro, seeing if the sound worked there. What do you think of the Xfinity race? I didn't get a chance to see the Xfinity race, but I heard it was a really great finish. Good win for Sam Mayer. Obviously, if you're pulling for the underdog, you wanted you wanted Sieg to win there. So unfortunately couldn't get the win there, but it was definitely a great finish. I did see the finish. That was pretty amazing. Good afternoon, William Wagaman. Good to see you, and good to see you on the screen there. It was an amazing race, I think, says Jackson Robinson. I think everybody was pretty happy with that race. T Van, what's up, my man? Rick cutting his famous promo, hold those alligators down. Yeah, that's how we wanted to start this one off. So we started off with a little Ric Flair there. What's up, Jackson? Good to see you, my friend. Dig the mic. Says one wise guy. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get the mic working. This is an experimental setup. We're trying to get all the kinks worked out. I don't know if it's buffering for everybody else, but it's buffering for me. And I saw down here that just it's time for a reboot. But hopefully it's working now. So let me get further down in the chat to make sure it's working. Hey, howdy from the Great White North. What's up, Robin Marks? What's up, Canada? I'm going to check my fantasy baseball. Never mind, it's back up, says Jackson Robinson. YouTube is being YouTube, taking lessons from NASCAR, says Shaw. Your internet isn't as fast as Xfinity 10G today. Suffice to say that Sieg will be the sentimental favorite Saturday at Dega. The Meyer scheme reminded me of the Bill Davis owned Carolina Dealers #1 Mark Martin ran in 89 and 90. One wise guy saying refresh. Dark horse is Cindric. Cindric might get it done here. Done. Thumbs up. What's up, BB? What's up, Jeremy Heath? Good to see you on here. New microphone. You sound different. Yeah, I probably sound more like myself. So, a lot of people were complaining about the previous microphone. What's up, one wise guy? YouTube gonna YouTube. Just hit refresh. It fixed it. Heck of an Xfinity's finish. I like the retro mic, says Shy. Yeah, so this is like based on the microphone Elvis used to use. So like if you go side to side with it, it gives a weird effect. I kind of like it. What is up? We're never mind. Take two. I'm CP. You're so nice, says Jackson. What's the numbers? I love the NASCAR community. So we can run over the numbers real quick one more time. If you're going off of average finish, it's going to be William Byron at 3.3, Brad Keselowski at 6.3, Denny Hamlin at 8.7, Kevin Harvick. Oh, what did these numbers change again? Nah, here we go. Yeah, so Denny Hamlin 8.7, Kevin Harvick 10.0, Daniel Suarez 10.0, Chase Briscoe 10.0, Tyler Reddick 11.7, Ryan Blaney 12.7, Matt DiBenedetto 13.0, Kyle Larson 13.7, Christopher Bell 13.7, Michael McDowell 4 previous winners in those 3 races. Laps led is going to be Kyle Larson at 374, 111 for Bubba Wallace, 106 for Tyler Reddick, 103 for William Byron. So 23-11 definitely strong here. William Byron looking like the best. Chase Elliott's up here too. Laps led at 45. So Hendrick always going to be good. Of course, with Larson, Byron, and Elliott there being amongst the lap leaders since the last 3 races. And the power rankings from driveraverages.com has Kyle Larson at 122, 113 for William Byron, 104 for Tyler Reddick, and Denny Hamlin at 103. Nobody else is in the 100s with driver rating. But if you're into the other ones that are there as far as their power rankings or whatever, Brad Keselowski. So Brad Keselowski might be a good dark horse. He's had some speed. He didn't have it in qualifying, but in practice, he was fast. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and Eric Jones. Eric Jones, another good sleeper pick there as well. Especially if you're into sort of the or if you're into fantasy or if you're into the old who's going to finish where and whatnot, who'll be the highest finishing Toyota driver. That might be a good time to take Eric Jones on that one. If you're into a long shot or something like that. Let's see. I love the NASCAR community, says Jackson Robinson. Yeah, it's definitely a really cool community. One of the best in all of sports, I would have to say. But of course, I'm obviously biased as far as that goes. Everything in Texas is bigger. Even the heartbreak Ryan was so close. Ryan Sieg, man, like even Junior, like I don't know if you guys saw the tweet, but even Junior tweeted out that he was kind of pulling for Ryan Sieg to win that race, even though it would upset his sister. We need Brad to win, says Shitebox. This might be a good chance for Brad Keselowski to get that win. He had definite speed in practice. Where was the I have the practice numbers right here. So in practice, Ty Gibbs was the fastest, but if you look at who was second fastest, it was Brad Keselowski. Third fastest, Kyle Larson. Ross Chastain was fourth. Alex Bowman. So don't sleep on Chastain because Trackhouse is good here. If you looked at Suarez's numbers. Alex Bowman, like I was saying with Hendrick's always good everywhere. Ryan Blaney 6th, Tyler Reddick 7th, Chris Buescher 8th. So both RFK cars in practice were fast. Then you got Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr. Sort of the usual suspects there with Penske and Hendrick and Joe Gibbs Racing, but don't sleep on obviously Trackhouse and RFK. They're in the mix for sure. Let's see here. I've changed my stance on more horsepower, softer tires for all 3 series. All tracks will improve the racing product, but bad year being dorks, says Shy. Yeah, definitely. I think both would definitely help, but you need the tire fall off. That's actually what more horsepower is going to help is tire fall off. So I think that's why. It's sort of the same thing at the end of the day. Uncle Bones, appreciate the shout out there, my friend. And there is your fist bump. I love the fist bump emoji. I also can't walk and talk, says Jackson Robinson. It's hard to do. Ryan Sieg, losing was a heartbreaker. Yeah, man. Like it's definitely one of those things where you're like, you kind of wish sometimes it was scripted, because if it was a Hollywood movie, obviously Sieg would have won, but it's not a Hollywood movie; it's real life, and he just came up a little bit short. But sometimes just running that good is the bigger story. I don't think in a few years a lot of people will remember who won the race, but I think they'll remember Sieg having that great race and almost getting that win. He won the storyline, if that makes any sense. Why do you think KFB got loose in practice? Says one wise guy. He was talking about, and Jackson, appreciate you. Jackson saying I'm nice. I appreciate you, Jackson. You're a nice dude too. Why do you think Kyle Busch got loose in practice? He was saying that this repave at Texas is not aging like the repave in Atlanta, meaning it doesn't have the same amount of grip or something like that. So I imagine what he's referring to is it's a lack of grip relative to other tracks that have been repaved. So, of course, repaves and stuff like that being a hot topic of conversation after the Denny Hamlin, Marcus Smith situation, if you want to put it that way. So, yeah, your internet isn't as fast as 10G today, says Napa Racing Fan. I don't think it was the internet. I think I just probably at some point need to restart my computer because the audio interface wasn't going over into the I don't know. It just wasn't going over into this, but it was showing up. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just a technical thing, but it's working now. So good on that. Let's see. Oh yeah. So if you want to check out the merch, appreciate you there, One Wise Guy. One Wise Guy has dropped a link for the merch, and also if you want to join us on Discord, I'm pretty active on Discord during the races, and I jump in there throughout the weekend and throughout the week as well. How about I know we could talk about combat sports over there. How about Max Holloway, man? Max Holloway might be making another run at the old featherweight title there. I can't remember the German. I think it's a German guy that's holding it right now, but we'll see. Even though Ford nearly won Cup Atlanta and Xfinity Texas yesterday, it's wild to me that Ford has 0 wins atop across the top 3 series. It is pretty interesting. You would expect somebody. I don't know about all 3 series, but I know in Cup they don't have one. I haven't looked at the other ones, but you would expect, somebody like Cole Custer or somebody like that to win in the other series. Eric Almirola not driving for Ford. He got the win for Toyota over there. So just imagine if he was still at Stewart-Haas racing, that would probably be a Stewart-Haas win instead of a Toyota win. So just little things like that end up making a big difference. Let's see. But yeah, I feel like Ford is close, man. They've got some speed this weekend. Like I was saying, the RFK cars, they're definitely strong sleeper picks here today. I don't sleep on Cindric today, says David Nyhoff. Yeah, I'm not sleeping on Cindric. At some point, I feel like he's going to break through. Let's look at his practice speeds. Where was Cindric in practice? 14th in practice, but he was only off of the very fastest time. He was only 0.3 off, which is not it's not great, but it's not out of the ball. He's in the ball game. Ty Gibbs just laid a lap down. So if you take away Ty Gibbs' lap, he's only a 10th off of Brad Keselowski's fastest lap. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, I think he's in the ball game, but so are his other Penske teammates there as well. So he's right around his Penske teammates. So this might be the race that he re-breaks out of the slump. That's a string of words I probably shouldn't try to say all together at once again. Let's see. Would be okay with an Elliott victory. Today is a 10-year anniversary of his first career Xfinity win, which came at Texas, backing Buescher early from Prosper, Texas. What was it? Less than 30,000 people live there, or whatever Rick Allen was talking about that one time. Encouraging to see RFK strong in practice. Yeah, RFK is definitely strong in practice. I think they're more concerned about race speed. That's probably why they didn't qualify as well. Uh, BB, but more horsepower with a hard tire, and you just spin. Softer will grab and wear. So yes, more horsepower and a softer tire would be the combo. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you. I want both of them. I'm greedy. I want both of them. So I'm with you there, Shaw. I want both. I want both. I'm not kidding. I can't walk or talk, says Jackson. It's okay, man. Just just practice. Just practice. It's all good, my friend. If Denny wins today, does Marcus Smith hand him the trophy? You know what? Like, I know you're joking and all that, but I think that would actually be like a really cool thing, is getting X amount of money and Denny not being happy with that. So I think that would be a good way to just sort of put it into it publicly, because I don't know that a lot of people, not everybody, watched Denny's podcast and realized that they've sort of buried the hatchet, or followed up on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and saw that they buried the hatchet there. So I think that would be a pretty good public display, if he came out, handed him the trophy, shook his hand, patted him on the back, gave him a hug, whatever, just to show that they're cool now. I think that would be a good thing, and hopefully they continue to like just get cool in real life, because they're arguing business, and business. I hate to say it because it sounds like so cliche, but business should never become personal. And those two, they definitely wore their hearts on their sleeves as far as that one go. As far as that one went. Elliott has not done great in the reconfig of Texas. Did better before 1 and 2 got flattened and destroyed and coated with PJ1. Yeah, that's a good point. That's why I like to go off of driver averages, because they usually only do the most recent races. So even though it's recency bias as far as that goes, I think it actually works out better for predicting races. Because sometimes you get caught up in the nostalgia, like every time you go to Charlotte, you're like, man, Jimmy Johnson's good here. But for a long time, Jimmy Johnson did dominate it. But then as it trended further and further, Jimmy Johnson was no longer good at Charlotte relative to other people. What up in between the lanes? Happy race day to you as well. They said on the Xfinity race yesterday, Ford has 0 wins across the top 3 series. Long time to go winless. I agree. I agree. Hopefully they break that pretty soon here, because I feel like they're creeping up on it speed wise. Sadly, going to miss the race. I just wanted to say hey to everyone. Go forward. What's up, Bruce? Hope you're doing good. And we all got your back as you continue going through what you're going through, my friend. But hopefully it'll be a good race and you can catch the replay at some point. Cup and Bush should switch cars next season. It wouldn't be the worst thing to ever happen, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. NASCAR is in love with the new car, so I don't know. I don't know where Marcus Smith would like to stick Mr. I know where Marcus Smith would like to stick Mr. Dork's next trophy, says William Wagaman. I don't know. Hey, BB, going to the Cars Tour next at Orange County on Saturday. I don't we're racing anybody in that one, so I don't know if I'll be there or not. But the Cars Tour is always a good event to go to. So definitely, if you're interested in it, that's definitely the race to go to for sure. Who's your dark horse? I like Brad Keselowski as a dark horse. Believe it or not, him and Ty Gibbs would have to be my 2 dark horses. Shohei Ohtani for the win, says Bradley Weiler. He's hard to beat no matter what. Look up CP, says Jackson Robinson. What's up, y'all? Says Mr. Pearson. Give the what's up, Mr. Pearson? Give the Gen 8 cars to ARCA, says William Wagaman. I'm not a fan of this new car, but hopefully they get it figured out sooner rather than later. Win number 66 for Rowdy on Friday night, says in between the lanes. Yeah, and that's a good looking truck too. Hopefully, I haven't looked at it recently, but hopefully they make that diecast available, because that was a pretty cool truck. I kind of want that one. I got a feel for Herbst yesterday, running up front all day and getting taken out at the end. Yeah, Riley's pretty good, man. He's really come into his own, and hopefully that momentum can keep going. Do you watch the Cars Tour? I didn't get a chance to watch it last night, but I tell you what, friend of the show, Bobby McCarty, won the race, and Boo Carlisle. If you're not familiar with him, it's Kicking Asphalt is his YouTube channel. So check them out whenever he drops that particular episode, because it's going to be really good. Bobby likes to have a good time, and I think that was pretty much caught by Boo. who was right there, hand in hand, side by side with him. So congrats to Bobby McCarty. We ran pretty good at South Austin last night. Don't want to let's not bury the lead. We raced as well. We finished second in the second of the 125 or the 75s, and fifth in the first 125. That is after we cut down a tire. I guess we ran over some debris or something. Still not sure exactly what happened with that tire, but anyway, had a flat tire and ended up rallying to finish fifth in the first one. Got second in the other one. Congratulations though to Jacob Borst for winning the race at South Boston. Put on a heck of a show. Him and Craig put on a heck of a show racing there. Kyle Dudley holding on to the lead for a little while too. Put on a show racing with Craig. That was fun to watch. And also congratulations to Superman Blake Stallings. He gets his first win in 5 years in that 77 car in the first race. Man, that was awesome to see. Blake is a good dude. Always pulling for him. And if we couldn't win, I was glad Blake could win. And Jacob Borst, a fun kid too. So congratulations to him, and congrats to Craig Moore because he didn't win the race, but man, he put on a show. It was fun to watch him race as well. Anyway, enough about me and our race team. But congratulations to everybody. Also about the Cars Tour, I wanted to say one thing. Isabella Robusto finished 10th place in the Cars Tour race, and I can't tell you how impressive that is. Her coming back from the injury she had last season, where she got the really bad concussion, finishing 10th place, outrunning her teammate, Brendan McQueen, which is no small feat. Like Brendan McQueen, a heck of a race car driver. So good to see her back and doing well. Hopefully keeps that momentum going, but finishing 10th place in the Cars Tour. One of the most competitive series as far as racing goes on the face of the planet. So congratulations to all those drivers and all the ones I missed too. Because if we go talking about grassroots racing, there's a million great stories. So, but those are the ones that I saw off the top of my head that I wanted to give a shout out to. I went to New River last night. Awesome race, but the grandstands were horrible. Management is terrible at the track, says Krusty. So yeah, Goodyear, New River, whatever you want to call it. It's got like 4 million different names. I want soft tires for all 3 series because KB mentioned the truck series were hard as hockey pucks, which explains why they wreck a lot to some degree. Yeah, they've got to get the they don't have to make them as soft as Bristol, obviously, but they have got to get them softer than what they are because there's just no fall off. Joey Logano ran like half the race on his left side tires at Martinsville. Yeah, Indy at 50K for Eclipse. Hopefully the Brickyard 400 will double that number. Yeah, I'm pulling for IndyCar. Hopefully they get out of the. They seem like they've been in a negative. Every story I see about them is negative. So hopefully they get a bunch of positive stories going real soon. Let's go. Larson says Benny B. I think he's got a chance. Keelan got the win in the Legends car and a second in the other car. I did see where Keelan got the win, so pretty cool. Had an interesting paint scheme on there. I thought that was pretty cool. Looked sort of sun droppy. I didn't see who the sponsor was, but it looked like a green and yellow paint job on that thing. Let's see. Ross is, or Rap, whatever you want to call him now. Ross is going to win for real, for real. Trust me, says Quattro. Hey, he's good. He's good. We looked at the numbers a minute ago. He's definitely got a good chance. DJ PB in the house says in between the lanes. Keelan was wheeling that street stock for sure. I think he's going to be really good. He seems to have that it factor. Like he hates losing more than he likes winning, and that's always a good thing to have. I like that rowdy scheme that he ran Friday night. Oh yeah, that Realtree car, man, or truck. I want that diecast pretty bad. Got any new diecast lately? Says Appalachia. I have not in a while, but I'm thinking pretty hard about the Kyle Busch when Ryan Sieg almost pulled it off last night. Yeah, man, Ryan Sieg, he put on a show, man. Unfortunately, couldn't get it, but I think people will remember that run for a long time. What's up, Escobar? Well, we had a storm this morning, thunderstorm. Could not sleep overnight, says Gator. Well, hopefully you don't have another one. Always a bad deal with the weather. It was super windy over here yesterday as well. Hopefully Harvick's word of the day is cattywampus, says like dislike. What was the best app to subscribe for the Cars Tour and other grassroots? Flow TV. Flow TV is where the Cars Tour is at. And Krusty reiterating their Flow TV. Ross was awesome yesterday in the booth. Made it more exciting. You can also see South Boston. So where we typically race at, South Boston is also on Flow TV. I'm not sure what Orange County. Orange County is televised as well, but I can't remember what it is. It's not Flow. It's something else. Sometimes it's Flow, but most of the time it's Tony Stevens. I can't. God, Daggone it. Anyway, Flow TV is good for the Cars Tour and South Boston, though. Ross was awesome yesterday in the booth. Made it more exciting. Put Ross in there full time. Says Appalachia Dogs. Ross was awesome. Him and Joey were good together. Yeah, Joey Logano has always been good in the booth. I know a lot of people get upset with how he drives or whatever because he's aggressive, but he's always been good in the booth. And I think Ross Chastain, he adds a lot of. I think a lot of people have seen him in the Truck Series, but I think that a lot more people saw him yesterday in the Xfinity Series. The Xfinity CW deal for 2024 is weird. I can understand CW wanting in early, but NBC giving up the last 8 races, even though they still produce it as odd. Qualifying still on USA. A lot of people seem to think they just wanted to free up an extra channel for the Olympics, so that could be that makes as good a sense as anything else. That and I think they're just happy to divest of it. I think they only carried the Xfinity Series so they could get the Cup Series, and as soon as somebody showed up and wanted the Xfinity Series, I feel like they were more than happy to unload it. That's just my thoughts on it. BB, you been to the Freedom 500? Did you see any van jumps this year? I have not been to a Freedom 500, but I'd love to go to one. Good year, more driven, says in between the lanes. NBC wants college football on USA 2, I guess. Yeah, I mean, college football is like, I love racing, but like if you're looking at it from a business perspective, college football is a bigger draw. You're going to get more eyeballs, so you're going to get more TV revenue. The reason we're getting CW early is because NBC has gotten the blanks of this and wants to get away as soon as possible, says William Wagaman. Larson had his IndyCar test the other day at the Brickyard. Yeah, and he seems to have done good, done well. So hopefully he has a good showing over there. Let's see. I voted Larson to win, so he is doomed. LOL, says someone should tell Lionel to stop. Yeah, we do have a poll question up. Who do you think will win? Larson at 56% right now. Hamlin, Byron, and Reddick are also your options there. 52 votes in. So if you want to get your vote in, feel free to jump in there and do that. Let's see. Someone should tell Lionel to stop canceling diecast if you're not going to make them, but that's out of our control. Yeah, it's. I feel like they just throw it out there to see if anybody's interested in it, and like they don't even worry about if they're going to make one or not. They just throw one out there, and if enough people buy it, they produce it. So it's like it's such a crapshoot when they offer one, if whether or not they'll actually make it. We're supposed to have storms tonight. I hope the hail stays away. I got the roof replaced from the last hailstorm. Hail is the worst, man. Like it ruins everything. Let's see, Racing America, maybe the other one you're thinking of. I think it's Pit Row TV. I think Tony Stevens' deal is Pit Row TV. Pit Row, ROW. Pit Row TV, I think is Tony Stevens' deal. And I think that's what Orange County is on, but I'm not 100% sure. But Racing America is another good one. Racing America is a good one for sure. That could be what it's on. I know they're all televised. I know when they have big events, they're on Flow sometimes. But I think for the most part, it's either you're right. It's either Racing America or Pit Row TV. Ross did great yesterday in the booth. Says 1400 horsepower next gen. Yeah, Ross does a good job. I think a lot of people, the more he actually talks and stuff, I think the more people will like Ross Chastain. Do you think Kyle Larson's recent pole streak has something to do with having seat time in IndyCar? I don't know about that. I think it's just as things go. The record, of course, by the way, is Cale Yarborough, who recently passed. I think he had 14 poles in one season. So Kyle Larson has a long way to go if he wants to threaten that record. But yeah, college spring games have begun. Says in between the lanes. Yep, for sure. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Somebody was Quattro. He was ramping up. He was ramping up for his football season over there. Let's see. Do you think? Let's see. I hope Briscoe gets a top 10. Says John Forrester. Briscoe had pretty good speed here. This is a pretty good track for Noah Gragson, if I'm remembering correctly from Xfinity. So Noah might be another good one. Yeah, SHR has picked it up this year, so that's definitely. Watching Ty Gibbs looks like the strongest car. Yeah, Ty Gibbs earlier on when I was going over the numbers, Ty Gibbs is definitely, this could be the race where he gets that first win. Lionel must have to reach a certain number of pre-orders before heading into production. That could be it. Put hat cameras on announcers and let them describe what they are seeing, says Brickyard Brickhead. Oh, that would be unfortunate because a lot of times they're just looking at a little screen. They're just looking at a little screen because that's what the NBC producers and Fox producers want them to do. they don't want them to actually look at the track. Dale Jr. gets in trouble for this all the time. So yeah, it would be kind of disappointing because you would just see a screen that they're looking at because they're looking at the camera feed, and that's what they're supposed to be commenting on, which makes sense from a producing standpoint. But I feel like you should have such a good camera crew that when somebody sees something and they talk about it, you should be able to cut to it pretty quick. That's how they did it back in the day. People dislike the moose. Why? That's because that's like hating puppies and kittens. Says Shaw. There was a massive mainstream media campaign to make you not like Ross Chastain, in my opinion. That's what I think. If the finish line would have been forward or back 10 feet, Sieg would have won, says Bradley. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things. That's just the way it falls sometimes. Man, he put on a show. I only saw the finish because I was at South Boston, but the finish was a heck of a finish for sure. What's up, Camara 50? Good to see you on here, my friend. I really don't want to see a bunch of recordings of monitors, though. Brickyard says, hi, Charlotte. Ty Gibbs will not win until he figures out running the most laps lid. Likely does not equate to the last lap lid, says Shaw. Yeah, that's true. There's only one lap in a race that matters, and that is the last lap. They should have such a crew, BB. However, they do not have a crew capable of producing a good show, says Charlotte. So that's about as matter of fact. And yeah, for whatever reason, the camera work has definitely fallen off at Fox. Fox used to be so good and innovative, and then I feel like they've just gotten complacent with their NASCAR coverage. NBC has much better camera work, but they still only show sort of lead cars, and sometimes there are better races back throughout the field. Kyle Larson is our modern day equivalent to AJ Foyt. That's a fair comparison. He can drive the wheels off anything. Enough said about what he did at Indy last week. Oh yeah, for sure. Like he's just one of those dudes. Like a lot of people don't like the analogy, but Robbie Gordon was another dude like that. He just doesn't have necessarily as many wins as Kyle Larson, but Robbie Gordon, you could drop him in any car. And he would get, I think Tony Stewart said 90% of the way there. Speaking of which, Tony Stewart was another one. Drop Tony Stewart in any car. He could get up to speed pretty quick. We saw with the trade and paints deal, Lewis Hamilton jumping into a cup car. He got up to speed very quickly, actually had a faster time in the cup car when they did trade and paints than Tony Stewart, although he was more used to the track than Tony Stewart was used to the track. So that there is a caveat to that. Joey was calling for Ross, out for acting that he thought the Hail Melon on the last lap. Ross definitely thought about it for a long time, says Bradley Wilder. Oh yeah, for sure. Like Ross said, he had seen that move done in a Nintendo 64, I think, game is what he was talking about. So yeah, he had that on his mind. I enjoyed watching Sobo yesterday. Sorry you didn't get the results you wanted. I was cool seeing you changing the tire on the. Oh yeah, so yeah, I forgot. I was on Flow Racing. If you saw Craig Moore cut the tire, I was helping change the tire. So I did make a cameo there. Several people texted me on my phone while the race, which obviously I was like, I just changed the tire. I was like, how come my phone is blowing up? Like, because you're just in the moment, you're in the race, and I look at it, and people are like, nice shoes, bro, and just all kinds of random stuff. So yeah, apparently I made Flow TV changing the tire. Bring back Digger Cam, says Charlotte Ander. Oh, Digger Cam was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. That's when Fox was being innovative and trying new things. I feel like they've just really gotten complacent. CW should take the trucks also, says Napa Racing fan. Robbie Gordon is amazing. His ego got in his way in NASCAR, says Charlotte. Yeah, that, and I feel like maybe he has, like, I don't want to say he's got ADD, but I feel like he's got a concentration issue. 250 laps, Xfinity Busch Series, whatever you want to call it. That dude was the man. Like, you put him in a Busch Series car, he was the man. But like a 500 mile, 500 lap cup race, it's like he couldn't concentrate for the whole thing because it'd be like halfway through he would do something incredibly like overly aggressive or something like that. But for sure, I was a huge Robbie Gordon fan, so I'm not downgrading him one bit. I had a bunch of number 31 singular gear that I carried over when Jeff Burton got over there. But I always thought Robbie Gordon was such a good talent. But you're right. He would get too angry or mad, or he would get overly aggressive, like midway through a Cup Series race. So that could be an ego thing. I don't know, but I just know that when they shortened the races, Robbie Gordon was harder to deal with over there in Xfinity. Ross the Boss represents all of us: the misfits, the scrappers, the party crashers, says Matt Hunter. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I like old Ross, man. He's definitely right up there. in my just great stories. Like anytime Ross Chastain does something, it's just such a bigger story than like if somebody else does something, because he's really struck that chord. Like he's got the blue collar sort of crowd going for him. I really hope that SHR doesn't downsize after they got all the shirts and hats ready to go. They look strong. Uh, they look like they're off to a strong start and continuing to improve, says John Forrester. I agree, man. They're looking great this year, and that's why I'm with you. I hate to hear all the talk about they might sell a charter or something like that, because I feel like they've got a strong, good, youngish driver lineup. Guys that are basically sort of going to be in their prime. If they can get that 41 car going, that would be super helpful for Priest. But I like all the drivers they got over there. They're off to a pretty strong start. I like all their crew chiefs over there too. So I think if they can and if they want to, look, man, Gene Haas doesn't need any money. He's funding an F1 team. This Cup thing's a drop in the bucket. So if they want to keep it going like it is, I think they've got a good lineup, and I think they can be right back up there. BB, if you ask me to choose diecast of choice, first off, but give me Martin Truex Jr. Bass Pro Shops Camry, XSE, and so many others I would consider as well to add to the list. I like that pick there. I would say the Ross Chastain #1 Busch car. That would have to be on the list as well. Speaking of which, paint scheme preview. Let me run through these real quick. Bubba Wallace with a pretty strong red, white, and blue car here. He's got that looks like that's an alternate scheme. The #4 Minor, a lot of people like that. Josh Berry, Doc Stores, and more. Minor, Josh Berry car, sort of a red gray, pretty good looking car. I do like that one, sort of that burgundy and white looking thing. The Yahoo #11, I like the Yahoo purple cars; they're pretty good. Ryan Blaney, this was one that was controversial. The Chase Briscoe #14. A lot of people either love this or hate this. It's just the gray just keeps getting different scales of gray there. So that's another one. Seabest #16 for Ty Dillon. That's a pretty good looking car. Little orange and blue complementary color action there. Sort of fading in on both of those colors. Bass Pro Shops car, always solid. Christopher Bell running the Ream car today. The Freightliner 21 for Harrison Burton. Sort of that Tron look to it. That's a good looking car. Joey Logano going with the AAA auto insurance, white and blue, mostly white. That's a good looking car. If you know the history of the AAA though, he has one in it, but it's usually a cursed car if I'm remembering Joey Logano lore correctly. Like I said, the Columbia red, white, and blue. That's a good looking car for Bubba Wallace. Liberty with the flames there for William Byron. South Point on the 31 for Daniel Hemrick there. I always like that South Point deal, even back when oh man, who was his dad, I think, owned South Point. I can't call his name. Brendan Gaughan, back when Brendan Gaughan was running it. United Rentals #33 of Austin Hill. So Austin Hill making his race here. His is a blue and orange scheme. The Loves car, Long John Silver car. Oh, the 42 Romco. He's got sort of a Matt Kenseth yellow and black look here for John Hunter Nemechek. Good looking car. 43 Dollar Tree, a little bit of a different look for the Dollar Tree, a little bit more white on the scheme this time. 45 Beast, Nasty Beast, Unleash the Beast for Tyler Reddick. Oh, this is just Beast. This is not Nasty Beast, just the regular Beast car for Tyler Reddick today. Blue Buffalo on the 47. The Ally car looks about the same. 51 Jacobs, we've seen that one before. Oh, the 54 Interstate Batteries car. I do like a good Interstate Battery scheme. I know Ty Gibbs likes the Interstate Batteries throwback schemes as well. Got the looks like a women's health deal here for Better Health for Zane Smith. Got the pink 71 there. And the Carson Hocevar, I like the Premier Help car, and 99 for Daniel Suarez this week, an all orange car with some ghosted in Kubota images sort of in the background there. Good looking car. So yeah, I like that Suarez car. I would say probably Suarez, Hocevar, and Ty Gibbs. Probably my favorites here as I'm going through to see what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. But one thing at a time. We've got to get the audio sorted out first. Has to be a 124th as well. This is in between the lanes. Larson ran sprint car race last night with his brother-in-law. I didn't see that. He was running bold personality, so I enjoyed him as well. BB on Flow, certified star on multiple platforms, says Charlotte Ander. Watch Robbie Gordon go Baja on a down a mountain, says Robin Marks. Yeah, like Robbie Gordon races everything. The dude is a unique talent. I personally Larson in other series over NASCAR, says T-Van. Oh, he's absolutely the man in dirt. I love the look of that singular car. Oh, I'm telling you, man, when they that all orange singular car, that was pretty tough. Let's see. Rowdy spun out in practice cars, you said. I worked at Ford before that. 2016, we built the electric car. Yeah, 2016, 2017, we built the electric car for the class group project in community college. So that was the first race car I built. So 2016, as far as building them. Before that, I did have some other jobs in mechanicking, just not necessarily race cars. So it wasn't like a cold turkey in 2016. I started working on them or something like that. With all the new sponsors coming for us, and I was a factory mechanic when I started working for Craig Moore too. So a lot of food service, a lot of wrench work, and in between, I was an IT guy. So it's been an interesting work career. With all the new sponsors coming in for SHR, yeah, I'm hoping they don't sell one. I think it's a lot more smoke than fire, to be honest with you, as far as them selling one. I think it's a lot of wishful thinking. I think Gene Haas is like anybody else. For the right price, he'll sell one. So if somebody really wants one that bad, he might sell one, but I don't see him selling more than one. I like Denny's idea about Junior testing the tires and picking which one gets to be used. Says like this, like yeah, that he would be an uninterested third party because he doesn't have a Cup Series car right now. Uh, Agreed. Says Shaw talking to like dislike. He agrees with the Junior testing the tires. I dig the consistency in the discount tire scheme. I've been into that car since it was 2022 nationwide with Brad K. I'm with you, Charlotte. I like the fact that some sponsors just stick with what they do, and it just sort of becomes iconic. It might not even be the best scheme of all time, but it just becomes iconic because you see it over and over again. The blue Miller Lite car. It's not with us anymore, but the blue Miller Lite car was always fairly consistent, and even though it wasn't the world's greatest paint scheme of all time, it just became synonymous with the Blue Deuce. So I always thought that was a good way to do it. The TV companies need to, and it wasn't ugly by any means, but you know what I'm saying. It was for a long time just blue with a white trim at the bottom. The TV companies need to prioritize NASCAR, or they will get less money moving forward. Yeah, yeah. I think NASCAR needs to be proactive, and I think they probably have the same idea. They just haven't like come out and said it yet. But NASCAR needs to do what MLB does and just have their own NASCAR channel. And whoever wants to carry NASCAR's coverage can pay NASCAR to carry their coverage. And in that scenario, you could just like the MLB season pass or whatever, NFL Sunday ticket, whatever you want to call it. There's different ways of going about it, but I feel like that's what NASCAR needs to do going forward into the future. Just make it on the NASCAR app, and you can watch every race for a subscription fee, or you can continue to watch them on cable. Like you would have multiple options of how to watch every single race. This will be a race win by Ford. Yeah, Ford is creeping up on it. So I don't disagree. We were talking about it earlier. I think this could be the race RFK breaks through here. Uh, Brad Keselowski's looking really fast, and of course Christopher Buescher right there with him. If SHR sold a charter, would it be the 41? They might sell the 41 charter, but they would keep the 41 number. They would sell the current 41 team probably because it's the lowest performing. But I just don't know if they'll actually sell one. I think it's more of a I'm interested, I'm listening. If you come at me with the right price type of situation. Also, a Haas F1 team is a little better this year. I found out Gene Haas did time. Says Bradley Wilder. Yeah, he had I think he didn't want to pay his taxes. I think is why he got put in adult timeout. Good Lord, people are obsessed with SHR selling charters. Yeesh. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a lot more smoke than fire. I think Gene Haas is a businessman like anybody else. If you offered him the right number, he might sell one of them, but he's not going to sell. I don't see him selling two, but I could be totally wrong. Brendan Gaughan's dad owns South Point, I think, says Bradley. Yeah, I think you're right. I think 100%. I think he does own at least the majority of it. But yeah, Brendan Gaughan, man, I miss him. Like he was so fun to watch in trucks, man, and he did great for the beard oil guy team as well. I miss old Brendan Gaughan. Don't forget the like button and Discord. We have fun out there for sure. I'm with you, my man. I'm all for. I got to reach so far up to actually the camera's right there. Oh man, look at that. Boom. The camera's right there. Appreciate you there, Camaro, with the super chat. Yeah, but for sure, the Discord is super fun. So if you guys want to jump on there, and I think that there's a link in here somewhere. It was dropped earlier. Your lighting setup looks good, a bit professional. Says I want, yeah. So I always forget to turn that light on up there, but when I do turn it on, it looks really good. So lighting is good, especially when you're as ugly as me. You need as good a lighting as you can get. I got to work all the angles there. I appreciate you there, Juan. Yeah, Gene did his time. He did not get. Oh, Charlotte with a Rick Hendrick jab there. So apparently there's a theory that Rick Hendrick over exaggerated his diagnosis to not serve jail time. But yeah, Gene did his time and have them fall off the radar as soon as adult timeout is no longer a threat. I say adult timeout. Some people don't like that, but YouTube is not in love with certain terms, and that's one of them. HMS sucks. Says like dislike. Earth 2 Denny sponsors Hamlin. Joke over there on the Discord. Danny B posted a picture of him sitting in Eric Estep's chair hosting Out of the Groove. So I said on Earth 2, Danny B is the host of Out of the Groove, and Eric B is Eric B. I guess it would be Eric B Talks. So there you go, or Eric E Talks. So that was your reverse Uno world, Earth 2. I was there for the electric STEM races with Central Indy Vocational School. Says Brickyard Bricket. Hey, there you go. I was at the Indianapolis race, my friend. So I can't. It was either 2016 or 2017. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was us. We were the Vance Granville Vanguards for that particular race. We wouldn't have finished the second race. We wouldn't have finished in the top 6, but they did a weird thing where they stopped the timing as soon as the time runs out instead of who crosses the finish line next. Because if it had been who crosses the finish line next, a lot of teams never made it back to the finish line. But they just froze the time loop where it was at. So we ended up 13th or something like that. Still not a terrible showing. Like those guys from Houston, the kids from Houston, man, their parents did I feel like their parents were working for NASA because they had like a carbon fiber or helped them out. The kids built it. I'm not taking anything away, but I feel like their parents certainly had access to some carbon fiber, and we did not have access to carbon fiber. So, but they did a great job. I was very impressed with their car. They got that thing up. God, I want to say they were like 15 or 20 miles faster than everybody else, and they could maintain that pace for a super long time. So shout out to Huntsville, Alabama. I forget the name of the school. You guys did a great job. You smoked us all. Charlotte, I liked it when Penske had that white front, blue rear 2/3 scheme across 212 and 77, making it work with all different sponsors. Say Charlotte, yeah, that was definitely a good one too. They had a good Kodak car back in the day as well. And of course, I think the my favorite has been the who is it? It's like a paint or glass company where it's sort of like it's got blue on the front end, but it's sort of more like a rainbow car. I'm a big fan of that. Silver Bullet scheme's always been awesome. I've got a yellow right behind the right behind the Dale Jr. Sundrop car. Right there is a Sterling Marlin gold Silver Bullet, and there's Austin Dillon gold number 3 Cheerios. Two of my favorites right there. I like gold. What happened to Kyle Busch? Why is he starting in the back? He wrecked in practice. So I had to go to a backup car. Brendan found all of his dad's buffets later in life, says Steve Van, which is funny. So the fun fact about Brendan Gaughan, he played on the same basketball team at Georgetown in college with Allen Iverson. So he is he's at his heavyweight fighting weight right now. He bulked up. He's ready for action. But he is definitely an athlete. So don't sleep on Brendan Gaughan. Don't say that to his face. He's active. I feel like everybody from Las Vegas is into martial arts. So don't sleep on Brendan Gaughan. He can still get it done. Is NWP going to have you on since BFM took hiatus? Says Camaro. I don't know. I don't. That's their show, and that's their deal. I think they've got it under control. They know which direction they want to go with it. But I like Old Darian, and I think he'll be back pretty soon, for sure. Real Tab, Kyle Busch spun out in practice and went to a backup car. Says in between the lanes. Oh yeah. So that was definitely practice and not qualifying. But yeah, he had to go to a backup car, so that puts you at the rear of the field. Hey BB, if NASCAR loses Xfinity as a mainstay of the sponsor, the Xfinity Series, what would NASCAR name the Xfinity Series? Back in the day, it was the Bush Grand National Series, so it would be probably whatever Grand National Series. If I had to ask, or if I had to just guess off the top of my head, so like whatever sponsors sort of filled in, or it could be the NASCAR Grand National Series brought to you by, you know, you fill in your sponsor there, Penske Automotive Group or whatever. You know, Trump. Oh man, here we go. I can't do. I don't do political stuff there. I like dislike, so I'm gonna skip that one. I don't care who anybody votes for. That's your business. But I'm not. I don't get into the. I don't get into the politics and stuff like that. My stream keeps buffering. David Nyhoff. I liked how Ruby Tuesday and Discount Tire split the 22 back in the day. The look of the car was the same every week. Only the position of the sponsors changed. Says Charlotte. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Camaro 50 mine too, says T Van. Probably, but Bob Jones High School in Huntsville says Dirty Deaf. It might be. It might be. It might be. I can't remember. I can't remember who they actually were there. Did some crew day stuff. If you need a presidential pardon, oh, it did some cruddy stuff. Like dislike saying, you did some cruddy stuff. If you need a presidential pardon, says like dislike. Yeah, that's 100%. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the exact details of it. Who somebody did make a whole video about it though. Is it NRF? I think NRF made a whole is the Hendrick iceberg, and he gets into that theory and stuff like that. So if you want to watch a video on it, I think he gets he dives all the way into it. I always like the Bandits paint scheme, says David Nyhoff. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the 52 ran it. Was the last one to run it. So what you're saying is you were instrumental in electric cars racing. Just kidding, says Jamie Switzer. Actually, the electric series were already out there. Uh, my idea, personally, where the idea originated was we needed a senior capstone, or I don't know if community college. I don't know if you call it a senior capstone, but you needed a capstone project for your degree. So our original idea, it was a group of three of us, uh, Thomas, me, and Jerry. Jerry Pierce, what's up, brother? Um, we came up with a capstone idea, and we were going to make a car that got 100 miles to a gallon. And part of that was going to be electrifying. We were either going to take a rear wheel drive car and put an electric front wheel drive on it, basically, sort of like a hybrid. But we wanted to make because we feel like Toyota was sandbagging with the Prius. We feel like you could get 100 miles to a gallon. Most of it would be run off of electric, and the car would run on gas. And we had like uh, regenerative braking was going to be part of it, and a solar panel on the top, so that it would always be like recharging when you weren't using it, or when you weren't on acceleration or whatever like that. So we had some ideas, but eventually, our the guy said, "Wouldn't you guys rather build a race car instead?" And we were like, "Yeah." So as soon as he said that the 100, like, and that's why we don't have 100 mile per gallon cars now, because racing. That's why. So there you go. Long story short, so yeah, we ended up building the electric race car, and that was that. And they have not done a single project like that again since. So because it was a massive undertaking. In 60 days, we went from a blank piece of paper, literally a blank piece of paper, to a race car. And it wasn't the greatest looking race car of all time, but it got the job done, and we finished in 13th. After the first race, we sucked, but we finished 13th in the second race. Let's see. I don't know why they were talking about charters when they don't have a deal in place anyway. That's a good point, John Forrester. They still don't have that figured out. I met Robbie Gordon at Bristol. Me too, says David Nyhoff to Charlotte. I met Robbie Gordon at Bristol back in 2021. He signed a trophy truck picture, but was kind of moody. Probably didn't help that I had a Jeff Gordon. Oh, Ryan Fussner. You can't go asking him. Yeah, him and Jeff Gordon famously did not get along for sure. T Van. I used to love the Wolf paint scheme back in the day, but I can't remember who drove it. David Green, I think, drove the Wolf. I think it was Dip, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Penske had a good relationship with PPG. PPG, that's who I was thinking of. Uh, Pittsburgh Paint and Glass. So that's what I was thinking. It was a glass company or a paint company. So yeah, PPG. Their paint schemes were always really good. sort of starts blue in the front, but then goes to a kaleidoscope or a prism of colors. Ross had a was awesome yesterday in the booth. I think he surprised a lot of people. Yeah, he definitely did really good in the booth. I heard a lot of people. I didn't hear him in the booth because obviously I was at the racetrack, but or South Boston, and but I did hear a lot of people talking about how surprised they were with him. So I agree with you there. Why are people hating Hendrick? Because he's successful. Says 14 horsepower. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like when the and I'll just use football as a reference point here. When the New England Patriots, when the New England Patriots were a scrappy underdog, everybody loved them. But when they won, 6 championships, now everybody hates them because they won too much. That's just the way it is. That's the way life goes. Uh, Everybody loved Rick Hendrick when he was the underdog, when he had Tim Richmond and Jeff Bodine and whoever over there. But then when he started winning too much, people started hating him. Let's see. I hope this year when I go to Worldwide Technology Speedway, I meet Kevin Harvick. That would be pretty cool, man. Mavis is the best scheme because it wins. Says Bradley Wilder. Yo, what up, BB? What's up, everyone? What's up, Elite? Good to see you on here, my friend. Look at that new logo for Elite. I love that logo, man. You did a great job with it there, dude. I meant to tell you that the other day. I can see electric cars working in drag racing, says David Niehoff. Yeah, I think there is like a lot of electric drag racing. That's almost a perfect series for it. But like I said, they got to figure out the recharge, how to recharge even faster, and stuff like it. It's got some stuff, but I feel like the longer they work on it, the more viable they can make it. It'll never just like horse racing. There'll always be horse racing. There will always be ice engine racing. And electric will have to carve out their own niche in the motorsports world because they're a literal motorsport. Haha, electronics joke. Is Ford in the top 10 for the start? I missed qualifying yesterday. I don't know about the top 10. Where's the entry lists? Yeah, so Blaney, Cindric, and Chase Briscoe are in the top 10 as far as qualifying for the Blue Oval gang. But if you go to practice speeds, it's looking like RFK has some speed as well. So don't sleep on RFK. In particular, Brad Keselowski. What racetracks do you think the 9 and 48 will win at this year if they can pull out of their slumps? And how many HMS cars do you think make the round of 8? Round of 8s, I would say probably 3 to 4 HMS cars. Alex Bowman gets random wins, so I don't know. Chase Elliott, I would just still lean toward a road course. What's up, Elite? Says Camaro 50, 1400, not because he is successful, because he is a poster boy for laws not applying to the rich. So that's a fair point, Charlotte. There is a fair amount of people that are in that boat, without a doubt. And on top of that, he is successful despite being somebody who doesn't follow the rules. People will hate Hendrick because they designed the car, says Bradley. That I don't know how I don't know. I can't those I can't prove those. I'm not going to disagree, but I can't prove those. Is all I'll say. Who do you predict will finish last, BB? Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Jimmy Johnson might be the first person to win on both Earth 1 and Earth 2 a championship. So it's an aggressive pick, but OJ and Toothpaste put me onto it in the Discord. So I'm going to roll with OJ and Toothpaste's pick of going Jimmy Johnson finishes last. No hate on Jimmy Johnson, by the way. I like Jimmy Johnson, but you got to pick somebody, right? So there you go. Let's see. And it's too easy. It's too easy to pick somebody in underfunded equipment. I don't like doing that. I feel like that's just the lazy way out. But if you were going to go underfunded equipment, obviously you could pick Kaz Grala or Daniel Hemrick, somebody like that, Harrison Burton. So there you go. The Gen 7 car, Bradley says Elites. I can't see electric cars finding a place anywhere but a fair, says Steve Ann, because he is a person that doesn't follow the rules, and I don't think he faked it. It was legitimate that he had it. I think people's arguments for him having cancer, I think their argument is that his leukemia was in remission and he might have over exaggerated the symptoms. Is how he stayed. Is the argument that they make. He didn't fake having leukemia. He definitely had it. I'm not BB, but Ty Dillon for last. Says Steve Van. So T Van going with Ty Dillon. Yes, I was kind of kidding, but they did test it until what needed changing, says Bradley. Yeah. So that's probably 100% fair. Thanks, man. Someone that follows my channel actually designed it for me. I can't thank them enough. It looks sleek. It definitely they did a great job, man. They did a great job. I love it. I love every bit of it. Quattro, with the memberships there. I appreciate you there, Quattro. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I did 5. I don't know why I keep doing that. I can go straight. I can go straight with the punch. So there you go. Quattro, appreciate you gifting out the memberships there, my man. You are the goat of goats. Let's see. I'm confused about the motor versus engine debate. Charlotte Motor Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, etc. It's what's referred to as a regional colloquialism. Hopefully, I said that word right. But a motor is an electric thing. So the big joke is amongst engineers who like to be smarmy and smartassy, is a motor is an electric thing, and the only motor on a car is your starter, because that is a solenoid, and technically, if you reversed your alternator, that could become a motor too. But we're getting in the weeds here. That's a motor. A motor is an electric coil, or is a copper coil with magnets that is driven by electricity. An engine is an engine, internal combustion engine, right? So it's powered by gas. It's not powered by electricity. So that's the motor versus engine debate. But motor is a regional motorsports. It's a massive region because all over the world they call it motorsports, right? But motor is actually not the right term for engine, and it's just one of those things where I don't know, man. People get funny about it, but it's always going to be motorsports to me. But it's technically a motor is an electric component. An engine, it should be engine sports. That's why you see some people call them power sports now. Power, POWER, just power sports. So yeah, that's the difference. Engines run on gas, motors run on electricity. Hendrick Motorsports is the New York Yankees of NASCAR. Says Elite. Hey, there you go. And I'm a Yankees fan too, so I catch a lot of grief for the teams I pull for. The Yankees do. I do pull for RCR, and I guess Kyle Larson drives for Hendrick. So technically, I guess I pull for Hendrick. But yeah, I pull for RCR and Richard Petty Motorsports, even though now it's Legacy. So other than that, though, people hate the teams I pull for. The 49ers, the Yankees, Duke, college basketball. Miami, not Miami, but the Orlando Magic. So there you go. I've got two teams that people might not necessarily hate on in pro sports. Dang, I just got an ad for the Hy-Vee Iowa IndyCar. They're not even giving me the options to block ads anymore. Tickets for the whole weekend, 6 concerts is cheaper than just the Sunday show for the Cup race. Oh snap! Oh snap! So we might have to put an IndyCar race on the schedule here if the tickets are that cheap. BB, did you design your logo? Says Steve Ann. I did design the wing. I designed the wing logo, but then I sent it off because to have it put across multiple platforms, they have to put it in what's called a vector file. So I did send it off to be put in a vector file, and when I sent it off for him to put it in a vector file, he I guess cleaned it up, made it look cooler. Like he took my original design and made it look good. Like, because obviously I'm not an artist. And the wing just came from Canva, and I just sort of fixed stuff onto the wing. I made some slight modifications, and then he made more modifications to it. But yeah, the actual the Bologna Burger font or logo that I use on the intro screen or whatever, or the one that used to be in the corner for I went before I went to the wing. I designed that one all by myself in GIMP, which is a free Photoshop thing. So yeah, I do design my own stuff, but then I take it to people to clean it up and make it look cool. Because I'm lucky to know some people like that. Shout out to Will. Will is the graphic designer, and he gives me amazing prices. Or we sometimes we work out a barter. So sometimes I trade Makita tools for graphic design work. So Will is the man. Let's see. And Derek at RNS is who did the wing logo for me. So shout out to Derek. Instead of trying to tear down successful people, try to work harder to get better. Says 1400. Yeah. So I pull for the overdogs as much as I pull for the underdogs. It's always fun both ways. It just depends on the sport. Hey, BB, keep an eye on Bowman. He was the only one I saw in practice that was purposely driving with other cars to get his work, to get his car to work in traffic. Even so, he was top five. Says Aaron. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this could be the race for Bowman. I keep talking about this could be the race for Ty Gibbs, but this could be the race for Bowman to break out and get his mojo going again. I call it auto racing because it comes before anything. Says William Wagaman. Hey, there you go. Auto racing's another good one. Why is there such a disparity in engines for the low funded to high funded teams? I have no clue. I feel like the engines are the same. To be totally honest with you, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Hendrick just keeps the best engines for themselves," but Trackhouse has disproven that theory. Um, the setup is still the biggest thing. You can have all the power in the world if you can't put the power on the ground. Like, you're just going to be, even though it's hard to spin the tires with only 500 horsepower with these fat butt tires they got now. But I digress. I'm not a Hendrick fan, but you can't argue with their success, says David. Yeah, I mean they've done it at a high level, and look, they get the most press. But come on, man, Joe Gibbs Racing, they're right there with them. Penske, right there with them. Yeah, those guys are right. But it is the same. It was the same thing back in the day. People hated Roush and people hated RCR back when they were the top dogs. So it goes in cycles. Would you consider doing a podcast with Elite, Breakard, or Jet? I consider doing a podcast with all of them, man. All those guys do really great things. All of them are hard workers too. I think they're all awesome for sure. One Shabarter, avoid the tax. Says Robin Marks. Yeah, I'm all about the barter system. I'm cool with that. How many cautions today? Oh, that's a good question. Hmm. I'm gonna go over 5. I'm gonna go over 5. Over 5 cautions. Not counting the cautions for the stage breaks. Is there a driver, so technically over 7 if you include those. Is there a driver you don't care for? Just curious. No, not anymore. Since I don't know. When I was a fan, obviously I hated Jeff Gordon because I was an Earnhardt fan and stuff like that. But since I started doing this, and the channel became popular, I don't really I'm able, because you guys pull for all different people. I'm able to see the cool stories. It opens up the world because you see the cool stories, because people be like, "Oh, check out Joey Logano's stats at these type of tracks. Check out Joey Logano in even years." So it opens up, and I'm just using Joey Logano as an example. But it opens up different perspectives, and you just kind of pull for stories at one point. Obviously, I have my favorites, but I don't have anybody I hate. Like it's kind of a weird way to take in a sport. And it could just be me getting older, because I know a lot of my friends that don't even necessarily do anything like this. They sort of have gotten the same way, kind of like when their guy retires or quits or whatever. They don't necessarily pull for a specific driver anymore. They just kind of watch it for the cool storylines. And a lot of them like the storyline of guys like Ross Chastain and stuff like that, even though they that's not necessarily their new favorite guy or anything. They're just like, yeah, he's a farmer, he's a blue collar guy. We like him because he kind of reminds us of Earnhardt. He doesn't take any crap off anybody. He drives aggressively, even though they're not saying he's Dale Earnhardt level talent. They're just saying, he reminds me of him because he'll use his bumper to win. He's not scared if you talk junk to him. Rest in pepperoni, Noah Gragson, because unfortunately you're going to be remembered for that for a long time, with those ears wiggling when Ross stuck you in the face. And I like Noah Gragson, I love Noah Gragson, but that's going to be an image that a lot of people always remember. The Ross punch. That and the wall ride. So I think he's another one. So you just kind of whatever the most interesting story is, it's sort of a weird way to take it in, I think. But back in the day, I was a huge Earnhardt fan, and before him, before Richard Petty retired, a huge Richard Petty fan. So I just was always pulling for them, and whoever cost them a win was the bad guy that week. And Earnhardt never wrecked anybody. They backed into his front bumper. I can't believe so many people accidentally threw their cars in reverse. Terry Labonte. Just kidding. The Terry Labonte thing was the one time as an Earnhardt fan, I was like, man, I'm not sad that he won, but I hate that he won like that, because I really like Terry Labonte a whole lot. So what happens if a team with no charter starts winning a lot in Cup? That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. One thing for us race fans I have in common is we love racing for sure. Juan Soto doing his thing this year, but I hate the Yankees. I'm shocked you're a Yankees fan, says Bradley. Yeah, so like my grandpa was a Braves fan, so I kind of my baseball thing is the most like front runner thing ever. So uh, my dad or grandma was a Yankees fan, and one or the other was a Dodgers fan. So I like the Yankees and Dodgers because of that. And the Braves, my grandpa was a huge Braves fan because you could watch all the games on TBS. So he just became a Braves fan. So those are my three favorite baseball teams. But the Yankees by far are my favorite. But I do pull for the other two. So like ultimate front runner. I just needed one family member to be a Boston Red Sox fan, so I could pull for all of the front runner teams. But yeah, 100% a Yankees fan. But I do like the other teams. I actually kind of like the Miami Marlins too because the good thing about the Marlins is you can always bet for them to lose and win money. So there you go. Those are those favorite teams for different reasons. Have a great race, everybody, and have a great race, everyone. Says William Wagaman. It's not always about the success; it's the system that allows you to buy your way out of legal trouble once you reach a certain financial level. That I can. Oh yeah. I'm with you, Charlotte. That is a terrible part of Western society in the United States. You can definitely in some situations spend your way out of an ordeal. I've been politicking to get you on with Breakard, you and Breakard on the NWP. I mean, let them do their thing. I appreciate it, but let's not harass them. Let them make their own picks. Dwight Gooden had his 16 retired today by the New York Mets. Oh man, the Mets were the bomb in the 80s, dude. They had it going on for a short period of time. Bush, Kenseth, Biffle were a great race team, says David Niehoff. Yeah, Roush had it going on back in the day too. Like I said, there were a lot of Roush haters in the mid 2000s. I don't have hate for drivers anymore, but also none I pull for emotionally. Yeah, it's yeah, and I think it just comes with your you're always only going to have one favorite, right? And when that dude retires, um, that's just sort of the way it is. Estep used to be a Logano hater, but he, like you, evolved into being neutral, like a reporter, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, it's just one of those things, and you can see it from his perspective, right? A Matt Kenseth fan, you can see where that came from. Uh, you can still, I feel like sometimes you can still see him grit his teeth a little bit, but you know where it comes from, right? Like he's a Matt Kenseth fan, so it is what it is. But yeah, he does a great job staying as neutral as he can. I think he does a really good job with that for sure. You can't get any better than 92, 98 run, says Charlotte, for sure, for sure. The engines are the same. It's the setup, says Bradley Wilder. Um, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, 100%. You can't if you can't use the power. What's the point in having the power? You can't let people get that close. Oh yeah, Chael Sonnen, undefeated. I see what you did there, one wise guy. I can't let you get that close. Chael Sonnen, undefeated, the biggest pythons in the game. NASCAR weekly podcast needs BB says like this. Like they can do their own thing, but they know the deal. If they want me on, I'll come on for sure. That's not a problem at all. I support those guys and everything they do. I think all those guys over there, that's one of the nicest groups of people I think I've met. Kyle Busch, number one, Martin Trix Jr., number two for me, says in between the lanes. He only tried to rattle Terry's cage a little bit, says Robin Marks. I mainly stick with rooting for HMS because JRM being related and other Chevy teams that work with HMS, says Mike. Yeah, I get what you're doing there. Like for me, I just pull for anybody named Kyle because I was named after Kyle Petty, and I pull for whatever Richard Petty's associated with, and I pull for RCR because obviously I was an Earnhardt guy back in the day. Let's see. Do you think the charter system stunts the growth of the teams? You got to be a huge fan of the charter system. But I miss the old school days where you could build a car in your back. People who work in late models that actually like literally did that back in the day. So pretty cool. T Van, what's up, my man? Will Cody Ware ever race in Cup again? He's going to race in Cup again this year. Actually, he's going to run a few races that Kaz Grala is not. Yeah, in between the lanes, saying I like the other drivers as well. For sure. Imagine NASCAR would find a reason to penalize no charter team if they win a lot. You're thinking, you're kind of thinking what I'm thinking, old home guy. NASCAR doesn't like underdogs. Ask Carl Long. Darian, what's up, my man? What is wrong with Kyle Busch? Nothing's wrong with Kyle Busch. He just got over aggressive, the hard tires. He doesn't like the repave at Texas. He'll be just fine, my friend. But what's up, Darian? Good to see you on here, my dude. Always good to see Darian on here. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So good to see you out and about, my friend. Thank you for the support as always. Jackson Robinson. I like the Minnesota Twins and the Dodgers, says Jackson. Like dislike saying, what's up, BFM? I'm watching the pre-race show. How about you, says Jackson? Yeah, I'll probably jump on and watch that in just a minute. Jamie Spicer saying, what's up, the like dislike BB, defending winner of Sleepy Hollow. Oh, for sure. Hopefully we can go back to back next year. If I'm involved, I'm watching the Knicks and the Bulls, says in between the lanes. Oh, Knicks and Bulls, that used to be big time TV back in the day. If it was always Earnhardt's fault, how come he never wrecked Harry Gant? Those two raced together for a long time. That's a fair point. Probably because he knows Harry Gant wasn't going to put up with that stuff. That was another thing. A lot of people didn't realize about Earnhardt. If you stuck up for yourself, he wouldn't mess with you as much. I think the car stunts the growth for not having practice. Yeah, I think not having practice is a big deal. For a lot of drivers. Certainly Kevin Harvick, even though he's retired, and Kyle Busch, they were probably the best at going and practicing the car and then making it better. Chael last night was announced to be in the Hall of Fame with Anderson Silva. That's awesome, man. Chael P. Sonnen. Let's see. Anderson Silva was the man too. People see old Anderson Silva now. Like Anderson Silva in his prime, could not touch the dude. In the words of Kyle Petty, let me say this, says in between the lanes. Good point, David, says next gen. Keep up the good work. I will, my man. You keep up the good work on your end too, dude. Always doing good things. F the haters. Yeah. BFM in the chat. Black flags matter rules. Hi Jamie, says like dislike, your Braves are winning. I'm switching over to the Braves game now. And Jackson saying 5-3. Pride FC, he was elite. He was elite in all of them. He's undefeated. He's never even lost a round, one wise guy. So yeah, he gets in on that alone. All right, I'm gonna go check out the race. You guys check out the pre-race as well. We'll jump on here for the post race as well. And until then, good luck to your favorite drivers and peace.